Willow Anderson's husband works all over the world. As he heads out to lay cables on ocean floors, he leaves Willow home for at least 6 weeks at a time. Here is her story.
Luckily, I'm pretty independent, so I'm not the sort of person who constantly needs help with everything or reassurance, or, I'm fairly, comfortable in doing things on my own usually. But it's hard. You want the person nearby. They're not nearby necessarily all the times you need them or want them to be. He's 6 weeks on, 6 weeks off. Sometimes 6 weeks become 8 weeks. It depends on the job. It depends where things are going to end up. And so that lack of planning, I find hard. I'll want to say to my niece, he's going to be at your birthday party, but I can't say that, So we'll just wait till a few days before and say whether Uncle Dave is going to be there or he won't be there. So that's probably some of the most challenging. But there's also cool things that happened. 2 years ago, he wasn't able to be here for Christmas, but he called from Bethlehem. That was pretty cool. If they are somewhere close to shore, he can get access to a telephone. But there are many times when we only have email. However superficial, whenever they come home, there's always some accommodation that's happening. My routine when I wake up, when I'm here alone, is I turn on CBC radio, I make a pot of coffee, I putter around, I do dishes, maybe make muffins on the weekend, and that's what I do. But it's kind of funny because that routine is totally disrupted when someone comes and they want to catch up, or not even catch up, but I sort of talk about the day. And I'll realize, I haven't heard the news, I don't know the weather. The shifting of patterns is really, it can be hard, but we just joke about it most of the time. I don't want to have friendships that are like 6 weeks on, 6 weeks off, but it becomes a little bit like that because when he's home, you want to just treasure the time together, so you end up spending a lot of time together. So there is a bit of an on-off, in your other relationships too, or even a sort of a acceleration and then decrease depending on his schedule, really. There are sacrifices to staying in a place that maybe doesn't always have the employment you want right here physically on land. So people will sacrifice certain things in order to live here in a place that they love. When we lived in New Mexico, people just didn't get it because they don't have this time on, time off sort of subculture. I think there's just some comfort in other people knowing the language. Oh, what's his leave schedule like? And I'll say 6 on, 6 off. They're coming into port, but they're not quite home yet. He said they get the channels. I guess like anything else, a word exists because you need that word. It does sort of help sometimes to remind yourself that this has been happening for a long time in rural areas, and whether it's, a sailor or a trapper or someone working on a rig, there have been many women throughout history who are having to adapt to not always having their partner close by. Because it was always part of who he was, accepting him was accepting this lifestyle. Right? It's a package. You have the choice to say yay or nay, and I definitely wanted to say yay, so.
Jill English, St. John's.